Welcome in everyone and welcome to the Cup of Tea channel. So here we are, we have the official trailer for the new season coming January 23rd with the title The Season of Construct, and with it we have the patch notes giving us a little bit more information on what's going to be coming with this new season as well. So we're going to be diving into this video, but first of all I just want to actually say a massive thank you to everyone who's been supporting my YouTube channel, but also over on Twitch. We actually hit a really massive milestone on my channel. We managed to hit 1k followers on Twitch, so thank you very much everyone who's been there since day one or recently dropping by the Goblin Army, the Cup of Tea community. And it was even more special because it was actually on my birthday that it happened, so again I can't thank you enough. And people ask, what do you do when you're 31? Well, here's an idea. If you really want it, we can do that too, but I'm much rather just hold hands with you. I'm a strong, fancy gentleman. You watch me cut shapes with my tiny hands. Whoa, hey, friggin' heck, bob my head like a pigeon peck. I wanna dance for eternity, so just fill my legs with a nanotech. But anyway, that's not why you've clicked this video. Let's actually get into some season 3 information. So without further ado, let's get started. With the new season, we begin a brand new quest line based under the sands of Kyrgyzstan, where ancient technology designed by a familiar character in the Diablo world known as Zoltan Kuhl and his assistant Ayajan of Chaldean. In this new location, we discover a sprawling of underground networks known as vaults, which will be the new dungeon type to earn rewards and contribute to the new seasonal mechanic. You will also be introduced to a new base of operations known as the Gate Hall. Within the vaults houses a device made by the two mages known as the Loom. This was used to shape the elements and build tools to serve humanity. As you progress through the networks, you come across Ayajan himself and discover that a demon who is a servant of Diablo is attempting to corrupt the Loom and create a private hell itself. This demon, shapeless, manipulative, taking forms other than himself, has embedded himself in one of Zoltan Kuhl's prized constructions. The loom that is within the vault was protected and maintained by elemental constructs created by Zoltan and Ayajan, but the demon Malphus has twisted and corrupted them. As you progress through the story, you will discover a broken device known as the Seneschal. This was built to control the other constructs under the control of the two mages. Ayajan repairs the Seneschal, giving you a companion, but is also the focus behind the season to increase your powers and providing different abilities to complement your builds. Throughout the season, you will level and improve your companion using tuning and governing stones, which can be achieved through the new features coming along with Season 3. This will be available to play on January 23rd, so say farewell to vampiric powers and hello to constructs, and we shall see you in Sanctuary. And that is just pretty much a quick summary of what Season 3 is all about in terms of story, new characters, as well as the new features such as the Seneschal, which is going to be providing you the new abilities and powers for your character builds. And this is where I want to kind of take the video now. We're going to briefly go over some of the features that are going to be coming with Season 3. And first of all, what is the Seneschal? So this new companion which provides abilities and power upgrades, this essentially is your new glyph system. Basically think of it like vampiric powers, where you had the different glyph slots you could actually put in and it would give you different modifications or effects or abilities. So with this one, you'll have 2 slots for governing stones. These are going to be your core construct abilities. These can be achieved through your seasonal quest line. And then you have 6 slots which are known as the tuning stone slots, and with these ones, these will provide singular modifications for any number of governing stones that you have. But you're probably wondering what these abilities are. Well, with the patch notes release, they've actually given us the entire list of what abilities the governing stones as well as the tuning stones will give us. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to post basically every single one on the video right now. Take the time to pause and read through it if you want to, but I will also put a link of the patch notes in the description below, so be sure to click that and check it out if you want to read in a little bit more detail. But as you can see, the governing stones can provide a variety of abilities and utility. So for example, you can go for the auto defense, where the Seneschal construct activates an anti-material field around itself, shooting down enemy projectiles, but it cannot shoot down boss or player projectiles. Or you could go for the focus fire, where the Seneschal construct channels a ray of fire onto the targets, dealing damage to each over time. But if that isn't your playstyle, there are other options as well which it can provide. It can give you healing, it can provide crowd control effects, but it can also give you a damage increase as well. And now we're going to move on to the tuning stone abilities. So what these will do, these will actually improve the governing stone capabilities. So for example, if you use the voluminous support stone, this will then increase the effect size of your abilities. So if you're going for more of an area of effect build, you can now cover a larger radius, or you can actually have it where you can change the type of damage over time that you apply. So if you're going for a more poison build, bleed build, cold build, you can actually change it with one of these stones. You can even have it where the skill from the construct can fire an additional projectile, can hit additional enemies, can give you bonus stats, or even recovery in your primary resources. And then written below all those notes, we actually have an additional comment saying scholars have spoken in hushed whispers concerning rumors of fabled tuning stones. Far beyond the capable power of mere mortals, their existence is ephemeral. Never confirmed by a dignified mage of high ranking, all that is known of them is writ below. Evernight and Genesis. And this could be very similar to how the Tears of Blood glyph came into play later on in Season 2. We may get additional slots just for these two stones themselves, or these could be ones that are just a lot more powerful in comparison to the standard glyphs or stones that we're getting right now. And you can upgrade the stones by completing vaults, which will be coming along in Season 3. The entrances will be located all across Sanctuary, and these will have a different level than your usual dungeons. This time around, we actually have this whole new trap mechanic in which you'll have to avoid whilst facing on waves of enemies and defeating a powerful elite at the end. Once you complete it, a treasure room will unlock and giving you your rewards such as loot, but also the chance for tuning stones. And if you have a duplicate of that tuning stone, you can convert that into experience, kind of how the whole Potent Blood worked in Season 2. You can also defeat enemy constructs in the vaults, which will then grant you Shattered Stone, which is like a lesser form of the tuning and governing stones, but then when you get a certain amount, you can then convert that to the stones to then contribute towards more experience. We'll also be getting a new resource material called Pearl of Warding, which at the start of the vault you can hand it into a statue to gain a Zoltan's warding buff, and basically if you have this stack on whilst in the dungeon, every time you get hit by a trap it will reduce the stacks, but as long as you have one stack remaining at the very end, you will then be able to achieve a ward woven chest for greater rewards. And very similar to Nightmare dungeons as well, once you unlock World Tier 3 Nightmare difficulty, not only can you get Nightmare dungeon sigils, you can also get Nightmare vault sigils. You can either get this very similar to how you would get your sigils, but you can also craft it at your occultist as well using your Pearl of Warding resources. And then we're going to have a new event as well coming along known as Arcane Tremors. This will work very similar to how Blood Harvest worked in Season 2. For this one, you can dismantle enemy traps, defeat the lesser constructs for those Shatter Stones to upgrade your main ones, and additionally you can earn your Pearls of Warding by defeating the elite constructs, and then there is a main enemy or boss known as a Herald construct for those greater rewards. We're also going to be receiving a brand new boss as well, very different to what we're normally used to. So this one's actually a stationary boss. It's in one position, one place, but it's all to do with the whole mechanics, very similar to the vaults with the traps and everything like that. It's more to do with positioning, dodging, while still being able to maintain your damage and defeat the boss as well. This is actually something that I'm looking very forward to. I kind of like this playstyle. I'm looking very forward to seeing how this all plays out, which classes will excel at it, which ones will struggle a little bit more, what kind of builds will be efficient with it. But the one thing I am concerned about is obviously we've seen the damage output that some classes can get to. I don't want it to get to a point where it's just like one shot, that's it. It kind of takes the fun out of it. I want to be able to have those kind of long fights where you have to be a lot more precise, a lot more using your brain. Being a barbarian, that's kind of ironic, but you know, it'll be a lot more fun if we can actually enjoy the mechanics a little bit more, have that little bit of a challenge, make it a challenge, and I hope they do. And we'll see how that does play out, but I'm looking very forward to it. Let me know what you guys think about that whole fight itself. We've also received some quality of life updates as well. So Hell Ties are getting a little bit more of a change. So it's going to last for 55 minutes with that 5-minute break before a new one spawns in. Kind of very similar to how they did the whole Blood Harvest thing that received a lot of positive feedback. So they kind of applied the same mechanics to the Hell Ties as well. That's going to be a lot better for farming those resources for endgame bosses, such as the Living Steel. We may also have some new builds along the way with the addition of 6 unique items and 7 new legendary aspects waiting to be unleashed. Looking forward to seeing what these will provide for the classes. The Glacial Fissure endgame bosses also received some changes in terms of earning mats. So beforehand you had to complete a certain level Nightmare dungeon to be able to potentially get the materials for it. Now they're making it a lot more accessible and easier to farm. So then if you're target farming those uniques, you can then easily get it now. With Season 3 as well, they're also going to be bringing in the skill tree respec mode. So now this mode will allow you to edit and preview your skill tree without needing to spend any of the resources until you confirm the final layout you want to equip. They're also going to be bringing in WASD movement with your keyboard, so you don't have to rely completely on your mouse now. And additionally, we're going to be achieving a additional stash tab, so we can hoard a little bit more. And then moving on to the final section of Season 3, and this is where we're going to be getting our gauntlet. So this is going to be a fixed dungeon run where it's set out and laid out exactly the same for every single player across the board. We'll have leaderboards for each class, party individuals, so 2-player, 3-player, 4-player groups, but you have to complete it in the most efficient time with the best score. And then every week this will reset. And if you manage to earn yourself a Seal of the Worthy, you can obtain some caches for additional loot. But looking at the footage as well, there seems to be some cosmetic unlocks as well. So I actually hope they do go into that direction where they reward the players that push their builds and try and compete against each other. And that pretty much covers everything for the video right there in terms of what's to come for Season 3, which will be out on January 23rd. In addition, like I said, I'll put the patch notes in the description below, so be sure to check that out if you want to read in a little bit more detail. I'll also put a link on a video they released on January 17th, where they actually did like the whole in-game depth preview, pretty much where I got most of my footage for this video right here. And additionally, don't forget, January 18th is when they're going to have the live stream developer update, where the community can ask the developers some questions, but also them going into a little bit more depth what's to come for Season 3. I'll also be live streaming as well when the new season does drop, so be sure to find me over at twitch.tv/cuppa__t. And for this video as well, don't forget to drop a like, comment and subscribe as well, because it really does help me push my videos into that algorithm. And if you did find this video useful, let me know what you enjoyed about it, what you're looking forward to for Season 3, what you're not looking forward to. Let's have a discussion about it. But until then, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Thank you.